I never thought that I would ever be a refugee, but here I am, living in a refugee settlement in Uganda. I was born in the country of South Sudan. Actually, back then it was just called Sudan. My mother has told me many stories about the hard times she lived through during the Civil War when we were trying to break away from Sudan and become our own country. I don't remember any of that myself. A peace agreement was made back in 2006 when I was just a baby. I do remember when we finally became South Sudan in 2011. Everyone was hopeful that we would now be able to live happy and peaceful lives. We believed that if we all worked hard and went to school to get a good education, that we could build a strong new nation together. Unfortunately, after a couple years of peace, fighting broke out again. This time, it was not with Sudan. It was between our own people. Lots of children, young people, and parents have died in the fighting. People have been afraid to even work in their own fields, so right now there's a real shortage of food in South Sudan. Many people have run away from their homes and are hiding in places where they hope they'll be safe from the fighting. The problem is trying to find food to eat in these hiding places. Lots of kids are very hungry, and some are even saying that South Sudan is in a famine right now. Many people are dying from hunger. In 2016, the soldiers came to the village where I lived with my mother and grandfather. When I came home from school that day, no one was home. I'm not sure what happened to my family. I believe that they must have run into the jungle to hide from the rebel soldiers. I was home alone for 3 days. I was very afraid, and I didn't know what to do. That is when my teacher, Miss Stella, found me.
She's our neighbor, but she got separated with the parents, and I know her very well. So I felt, let's come together to Uganda. So I just got her and then we come together to Uganda. So that's why up to now we are together.
When I first arrived at the camp, I was very sad. All I could think about was my mother. What had happened to her? Was she all right? Would I ever see her again? For many days, I hardly ate anything, and I didn't want to talk to anyone. But it's better now. Miss Stella has been very kind to me. When we got here, we were given a small plot of land, some blankets, mats, and cooking pots. They also gave us a tent for shelter, but it was very hot. Miss Stella decided that we needed something better. She made some bricks out of mud. Once they dried in the sun, she laid the bricks herself and built us a house. It is much cooler on hot days than the tent, and keeps us much drier on rainy days. I have started going to school here in the refugee camp. Right now, our school is just a group of tents, and it's very crowded. Back home, we would have about 40 students in a classroom. Here, we squeeze together into our desks and fill up the tent with about 200 students. It sometimes gets very noisy with all the children together in one room, but we are still learning. It is also nice just to have some place to go every day and to be with the other kids who are facing some of the same problems as me. My best friend is Joanne. We always sit together. We hope that one day someone will build a real school here and that we will get more teachers so we can have smaller classes. I hope to be able to continue going to school. I would like to go on to university and one day become a teacher like Miss Stella. I would like to work at a school, teaching young children. After school, I really like going to the playground near the school. There are a lot of fun games that you can play there. I like the swings the most. When I come home from school, I help Miss Stella by going to the well to fetch water. Joanne and I often go down together. There are always a lot of people at the well, and sometimes we must wait a long time before it's our turn. Joanne and I also fetch firewood so that we have something to cook our meals with. We are often the ones that help prepare the meals and cook over the stove. After we have eaten, it's my job to wash dishes and make sure that the ground around our little house is clean. After my chores, I like to join in on some of the games that the children in the camp play. Every evening, there's a football game that is a lot of fun, but sometimes Joanne and I just stay close to our homes and play with some of the other kids that live close by. We skip using a jump rope that we have made, or make up our own fun games. Keeping active like this, helping Miss Stella, and playing with my friends has helped me stop worrying about my family so much. I still pray every night that God will keep them safe. At least I still have hope that my mother is alive, somewhere. My friend Joanne is not as fortunate. Her father was killed by the rebel soldiers, and she doesn't know where her mother is. She came here with her 2 brothers and grandmother. When we get sad, we help each other out.
Back at home, we were so afraid that the rebels would come that we were afraid to leave our home. We wouldn't go out and play, and were even afraid to go fetch water. Here it is safe. We can play lots of games with our friends with no fear. We can run down and fetch water or run and collect firewood with no worries. Here, we can sleep peacefully at night.
We are refugees, living in a foreign land, far away from our homes. We have seen a lot of bad things. We have known a lot of sadness. But we are thankful for many things. God has brought us safely here. We thank the country of Uganda for providing a safe place to live. We are grateful to ADRA for all the ways that they are helping the people in our camp. Miss Stella has joined an ADRA community group that is doing a lot of work to help people get settled into their new life here in Uganda. They are helping people build efficient stoves, giving counseling, and helping protect the environment. We don't know how long we will have to stay here. We pray for peace, but until that day comes, we will do our best to make a life here, in our new home, away from home.